welcome to the Webcast for Monday, January 26th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We're starting this work week off with partly to mostly cloudy skies, mainly due to some mid and high-level cloudiness that continues to drift in from the Pacific, though the Central Valley continues to deal with some Thule fog as well. The back edge of the mid and high cloud shield does look to be gradually approaching, so we should see some trends towards increasing sunshine by this afternoon. Despite westerly flow aloft, we have a little bit of offshore flow in the lower levels this morning. Here are the latest wind observations with the wind gust values shown in red. There are some locally breezy east winds across the wind-prone corridors of Southern California, with a few gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range, even one over 50 down at Otay Mountain. These winds will continue at least into early this afternoon before weakening by later today. Still, those winds aren't anything too impressive, and we're really grasping at straws for things to talk about in what looks to be a very quiet week of weather ahead. Weak high pressure will be over the region through Tuesday. A weak Pacific trough will then pass near or north of the region on Wednesday, and then high pressure will rebuild and become a little stronger for the end of this week and into the weekend. So as has been the case for a while now, high pressure really continues to dominate the pattern overall with a pronounced lack of any significant storminess. Temperatures will be a little above normal through Wednesday, with upper 40s and 50s across the lower mountains, upper 60s to mid-70s in the coastal valleys, and upper 50s to low 60s in the Central Valley and the high desert. Here are today's forecast highs, which should change little for the next couple of days. As high pressure strengthens later in the week, we will see additional warming beginning on Thursday and peaking by the time we get to the end of this week. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Saturday, which may be the warmest day overall. We'll see highs rise into the mid-50s to mid-60s across the lower mountains, mid-70s to low 80s in the coastal valleys, and near 70 in the high desert. We won't be in record territory here by any means, but it's certainly respectable warmth by winter standards and continues the theme of what has been a very warm winter overall. Minimum humidity will be mainly in the 12 to 25% range away from the wetter San Joaquin Valley through the upcoming weekend, with single digits likely across the deserts, desert slopes, and some of the higher elevations of Southern California. A brief onshore flow pattern will develop on Wednesday with some westerly wind gusts to 40 miles per hour across the high terrain of the Sierra Crest, but generally light winds otherwise. Offshore flow will then redevelop Thursday through this weekend as high pressure re-strengthens. The offshore winds later this week should be light overall, but some local northeast to east wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour will be likely across the wind-prone corridors of Southern California from Thursday into the weekend. And finally, from a precipitation standpoint, this remains a very dry forecast. There is a slight chance of showers north of a Monterey-Fresno County line Tuesday night into Wednesday as that weak Pacific trough passes just to our north. But otherwise, no precipitation is expected across the region through at least the upcoming weekend. And the longer-range outlooks continue to show warmer and drier than normal conditions likely continuing now through the first week of February. There are some indications of changes beyond then, but no strong signals yet by any means. The persistent and widespread warmth across the entire western United States is becoming a significant problem, as portions of the West, especially outside of California, are tracking for a historically poor year in terms of snowfall. There's still time for snowpack to recover, at least somewhat, but the clock will be starting to tick pretty loudly on that as we head deeper into February. Meanwhile, we saw some modest moistening trends on our dead fuels over the weekend, thanks to that minor weather system that came through with some light shower activity and higher humidity. But we'll see mostly drying trends this week as high pressure, dry weather, and low humidities prevail. Of course, most of our wildland fuels remain in the live category with deep green up present across the low and mid elevations. This continues to provide strong and widespread barriers to fire spread, and as a result, there will be little or no fire activity across the region through the forecast period. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Wednesday, January 28th.